everyone, I am Teresa, and this is day 25 of my summer break, and I read you chapter 2 of Amelia Bedelia Cleans Up yesterday, so today I will read you chapter 3. Chapter 3, Big Idea, Big Trouble. At dinner time, Amelia Bedelia let her parents in on her idea. She could tell that it was a great idea by how much she was waving her arms around as she told them all about the new club, the vacant log in the plans for a treehouse. Waving arms always meant that something exciting was about to happen. But for her parents, Amelia Bedelia's waving arms were a warning, setting off alarm bells, buzzers, and whistles. We'll have a rope ladder to get up into the treehouse, Amelia Bedelia said. We'll have a telescope and windows and a hammock and a balcony. Won't it be great? She took a big bite of her chicken drumstick and beamed at her mom and dad. Well, sweetness, said her mother, I must say, but she didn't say anything. She looked over at her husband and she arched her right eyebrow in secret parent code. Then she added, this plan sounds... What's the word I'm searching for, honey? Amelia Bedelia's father put his fork down. Unbelievable, he said. I knew you'd like it, said Amelia Bedelia. It's perfect for us. Her father tilted his head so he could look right at her. Of all the dangerous hazardous perilous, Amelia Bedelia kept hearing us at the end of every word. She interrupted him. When I said us, I didn't mean you and me and Mom. Us three girls can handle it. Ridiculous, said her father. You girls are not going to handle anything in that empty lot, said her father. It's not empty, explained Amelia Bedelia. It's full of trash and stuff. Exactly, said her father. Honey, said Amelia Bedelia's mother, your dad does not think this is a good idea at all, and I don't think you're going to convince him. You're banging your head against a stone wall here. I didn't bang my head on anything, said Amelia Bedelia. Just my elbow and my knee, and I banged them on the ground, not a wall. Dangerous, ridiculous. 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 You banged your knee? Her father asked. You banged your elbow? How? Where? What happened? Amelia Bedelia stood up to show off the scrapes on her elbow and knee and explained how she had done a somersault over her bike. Treacherous, exclaimed her father. Amelia Bedelia sat down again. She was beginning to get the idea that us words were not the friends of explorers. Except, of course, for adventurers. Honey, said her mother, your dad is right. That lot is no place for children to play. Look what happened to you already. It's not safe. I know, agreed Amelia Bedelia. That's why we have to clean it up. Amelia Bedelia could see that her parents still didn't understand. So she followed her number one rule. She turned to her mother and asked a question. Aren't aren't you always telling me we need a sense of community to give something back where we are?" Her mother's eyebrows went up. "Pleasant Street is just a couple of blocks away. Isn't that our community?" Her mother's eyebrows made two tall arches. Her father put his elbows on the table and leaned his forehead on his hands. He sighed. This thought Amelia Bedelia was progress. "Time for one more question. Can't we give back by taking away, collecting all that junk and recycling and getting rid of the rest?" Her father sighed again. "We need to think about this for a minute," Amelia Bedelia's mother said. "Any more questions?" "Yes," Amelia Bedelia said. "Would you please pass the kale?" She knew that question would make her mother happy. Every time her mother served them kale, Amelia Bedelia and her father got a lecture about why it was so good for you, along with a helping of the dark green leaves. Smiling, her mother packed the kale and watched in delight as Amelia Bedelia piled it on her plate. Her father watched carefully. The more kale Amelia Bedelia ate, the less there would be for him. Amelia Bedelia chewed and chewed. She tried not to think about what she was eating or how it tasted. Her parents had stopped eating altogether and were staring at each other. They must have been saying things in secret parent code that Amelia Bedelia had not yet worked out, because suddenly her mom spoke. "All right," said her mother. "You and your friends can clean up that lot. I don't know who owns it, but whoever it is, they haven't done anything with it in years. I'm sure they won't mind if the trash gets taken away, but grown-ups have to be there with you." Then she turned to Amelia Bedelia's father and said, "Honey, I'm sure you won't mind giving up your golf tournament this Saturday to help our daughter give back to our community, right?" Amelia Bedelia's father closed his eyes and made a face. He looked as if the idea of giving up his golf game was even more bitter than kale. "Sweetie, you're asking a whole lot," he said to Amelia Bedelia. "Of course," Amelia Bedelia agreed. "It wouldn't be any good to clean up just part of the lot. But don't worry. With everyone working together, I'm sure we can clean it up in no time." Bye everyone. I'll read you chapter 4 tomorrow.